The sun shone brightly, birds sang sweetly. It was a beautiful day in the forest. Hoppy the rabbit skipped happily down the path. He hummed a little tune. Suddenly, something shiny caught Hoppy's eye.
What was that golden glimmer?
Hoppy stopped skipping. He hopped closer. He pushed aside some leaves. There, nestled in the grass, was a basket. But not just any basket. This one was made of pure gold. Hoppy gasped. He had been hopping through the forest, enjoying the fresh morning air and the chirping of birds, when something caught his eye. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. His little heart skipped a beat as he approached the mysterious object. He had never seen anything so beautiful. The object was a golden basket, intricately woven with patterns that seemed to dance in the sunlight. Hoppy's eyes widened in amazement as he took in the sight. The basket seemed to glow with an inner light, casting a magical aura around it. The basket shimmered and sparkled in the sunlight. It was as if the sun itself had decided to rest within the woven strands of the basket. Hoppy could hardly believe his eyes. He wondered how such a magnificent object had ended up in the middle of the forest. Hoppy carefully touched it with his paw. It was warm. The warmth seemed to spread from the basket into his paw, filling him with a sense of wonder and curiosity. What could this basket be? Where had it come from? Hoppy's mind buzzed with questions. Hoppy's heart thumped with excitement. He could feel the magic in the air, a tingling sensation that made his fur stand on end. This was no ordinary basket, of that he was certain. It was something special, something extraordinary. What secrets did this golden basket hold? Hoppy's mind raced with possibilities. Could it be a treasure from a far-off land? Or perhaps it was a gift from the forest spirits? The basket's mysterious glow seemed to beckon him, urging him to uncover its secrets. Hoppy knew this was no ordinary basket. It felt magical. The air around it seemed to hum with energy, and Hoppy could almost hear a faint melody, like the whisper of ancient secrets. He felt a connection to the basket, as if it was calling out to him. He had to find out more. Hoppy's determination grew stronger. He couldn't just leave the basket here in the forest. He needed to understand its origins and purpose. There was a sense of destiny in the air, and Hoppy felt that he was meant to discover the truth. He decided to take the basket to someone who might know its secrets. But who? Hoppy pondered as he carefully lifted the basket. He thought of the wise old owl who lived in the ancient oak tree. Perhaps the owl would have some answers. Or maybe the clever fox, known for her knowledge of the forest's mysteries. Hoppy set off on his journey, the golden basket cradled gently in his paws. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. What if the basket was dangerous? What if it held powers beyond his understanding? But Hoppy knew he had to try. The forest was full of wonders, and this basket was one of its greatest mysteries. As he hopped along the forest path, Hoppy couldn't help but feel a sense of adventure. The trees seemed to whisper encouragement, and the birds sang a cheerful tune. Hoppy was determined to uncover the secrets of the golden basket, no matter what it took. Wow! Hoppy knew just the friend to ask. He hopped deeper into the forest, towards a tall oak tree. There, perched on a branch, was the wisest creature he knew. Old Mrs. Owl.
Mrs. Owl, Mrs. Owl.
Hoppy called out. He told her all about the golden basket. Mrs. Owl listened patiently, her big eyes blinking slowly. When Hoppy finished his story, Mrs. Owl hooted thoughtfully.
This is a very special basket. Legend says it has magical powers.
Hoppy's ears perked up. Magical powers? He had to know more. But just then, a sly voice interrupted them.
Well, well, well. What do we have here?
It was Sneaky Shadow, the slyest fox in the forest, known for his tricks. He had been hiding behind a bush, listening to everything. Now he wanted the golden basket for himself.
Sneaky Shadow lunged for the basket.
Hoppy quickly hopped back, holding the basket tight. "It's mine!" cried Hoppy.
But Sneaky Shadow was bigger and faster. He snatched the basket away from Hoppy and dashed off.
Hoppy was heartbroken. He had lost the magical basket, but he wasn't giving up. He called out to his friend, Betsy Butterfly.
Betsy was small, but she was the fastest flyer in the forest. She could help him catch Sneaky Shadow.
Betsy Butterfly quickly caught up with Sneaky Shadow. She had been flying tirelessly, her delicate wings flapping with determination. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the landscape, and Betsy knew she had to act fast. Sneaky Shadow was notorious for his cunning ways, and if she didn't intervene now, the basket would be lost forever. She fluttered around his head, distracting him. Her vibrant colors and swift movements created a mesmerizing dance that caught Sneaky Shadow off guard. He tried to focus on his path, but Betsy's persistence was too much for him to ignore. She darted left and right, up and down, making it impossible for him to concentrate. Sneaky Shadow swiped at Betsy, trying to shoo her away. His frustration grew with each failed attempt. "Get away, you pesky butterfly," he muttered under his breath. But Betsy was relentless. She knew that every second she kept him distracted was a second closer to retrieving the basket. While he was distracted, I caught up and snatched the basket back. My heart raced as I grabbed it from his grasp. The basket felt warm and pulsated with a mysterious energy. I couldn't believe it. We had done it. Betsy's plan had worked perfectly. I was so relieved to have the basket back. The weight of the world seemed to lift off my shoulders. I looked at Betsy and gave her a grateful smile. She landed gently on my shoulder, her tiny wings still fluttering with excitement. We had overcome a great challenge together, but I still didn't know how to unlock its magic. The basket was beautiful, adorned with intricate patterns and glowing softly. I turned it over in my hands, searching for any clues. What could Mrs. Owl have meant? How could a kind heart and a generous spirit unlock its secrets? I remembered what Mrs. Owl had said, her wise eyes twinkling with knowledge. She had always been a source of wisdom in our village. The basket's magic is not in its appearance, she had told me, but in the actions of those who possess it. Legend says the basket's magic is unlocked by a kind heart and a generous spirit. What did that mean? I pondered over her words, realizing that the true power of the basket lay not in its physical form, but in the goodness and selflessness of the person holding it. It was a riddle, a test of character, and I was determined to solve it.
Hoppy thought about Mrs. Owl's words. What did it mean to have a kind heart and a generous spirit? Then, he had an idea. He hopped back to Mrs. Owl, with Betsy Butterfly fluttering behind him.
Mrs. Owl, I think I understand how to unlock the basket's magic.
Hoppy decided to share the basket with others, using it to help his friends. To his surprise, the basket started to glow. The basket's glow grew brighter. Suddenly, it was overflowing with delicious berries. Hoppy had never seen so many berries in his life. He shared the berries with Mrs. Owl and Betsy Butterfly. Word spread through the forest about the magical basket. Soon, all the animals gathered around. Hoppy happily shared the berries with everyone. Even Sneaky Shadow came sniffing around.
With a kind heart, I shared the berries with him too.
From that day on, Hoppy used the golden basket to help everyone in the forest. He would wake up early every morning, eager to start his day with a heart full of joy and a basket full of golden magic. Hoppy's first stop was always the home of the little squirrels who lived in the tallest tree. They were always in need of nuts and berries, and Hoppy made sure they had plenty. Next, he would visit the family of deer who loved to munch on the freshest leaves. Hoppy's golden basket never ran out, and he always had enough to share with everyone he met. He learned that true magic wasn't about gold or glitter. It wasn't about the shiny things that caught the eye or the sparkles that dazzled. True magic was something deeper, something that came from within. It was the warmth of a kind gesture, the light in someone's eyes when they received help, and the joy that spread like wildfire when kindness was shared. Hoppy realized that the golden basket was just a tool, a means to an end. The real magic was in the connections he made and the smiles he brought to the faces of his forest friends. It was about kindness, generosity, and sharing with friends. Hoppy found that the more he gave, the more he received in return. Not in material things, but in love, friendship, and happiness. The forest became a place of harmony and joy, where every animal looked out for one another. Hoppy's actions inspired others to be kind and generous too. The birds would sing songs of gratitude, the foxes would share their dens, and even the grumpy old bear would smile and lend a helping paw. The forest was alive with the spirit of giving, and it all started with Hoppy and his golden basket. And that made Hoppy the happiest bunny in the whole wide world. His heart swelled with pride and joy every time he saw the happiness he brought to others. He would hop around the forest with a spring in his step and a song in his heart. The other animals would often join him in his joyful dances, and the forest would echo with laughter and music. Hoppy's happiness was contagious, and it spread to every corner of the forest. He knew that he had found his true purpose, and it was the most wonderful feeling in the world. The golden basket reminded everyone that even the smallest act of kindness could bring the greatest joy. It became a symbol of hope and generosity, a reminder that everyone had the power to make a difference. The animals would often gather around the basket, sharing stories of kindness and bravery. They would talk about the times when they helped each other, and how those small acts of kindness had changed their lives. The golden basket was a beacon of light in the forest, guiding everyone towards a better, kinder future. And so, the legend of Hoppy and the golden basket was passed down through generations of forest animals. The elder animals would tell the story to the young ones, teaching them the importance of kindness and generosity. They would gather around the golden basket, listening with wide eyes and open hearts. The story of Hoppy became a cherished tradition, a tale that was told and retold with love and pride. It was a story that united the forest, a story that reminded everyone of the true magic that lay within their hearts, reminding them that the true magic was always within their hearts. It was a magic that didn't need a golden basket or sparkling glitter. It was a magic that was born from love, kindness, and the simple act of sharing. The animals of the forest carried this magic with them every day, in every action and every word. They knew that as long as they had kindness in their hearts, they would always have the power to make the world a better place. And so the forest thrived, a testament to the enduring power of Hoppy's golden lesson.